Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. Thank you.
Okay, good. So, have you thought about the topic, Shirin?
Yes,
Okay, good. Is Bez out there too?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you very much.
So, have
Thank
you
you.
had
Thank you.
time to think about the topic?
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Again, just okay. Okay, so who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay. So, the first question is this. Was history one of your favorite subjects at school?
Actually not.
And why not?
Because even though I'm interested in history and reading history, at school we were forced to memorize a lot of things and stuff like that. And the way that we were taught, especially for subjects like history, was not a good way. And we had to memorize a lot of things in a short period of time.
Yes.
And after that, we were, we have to
Had to. Yes.
write them down in our exams, and that that was not a good way to read the history.
Yeah. Study.
But
Study the
when you
history. Yes.
study the history, and I think that's why I'm not interested in history, and that was not a subject that I liked during my
Years
during
as a
my
schoolboy.
education.
You could say during my years as a
During my
schoolboy. You could say that.
yes, yes, during my years at school.
At school or as a schoolboy. You could say that too.
As a school,
As a
yes,
schoolboy. So
as a school
you said
schoolboy.
you are not interested, are not or were not interested in history. Which one?
But yeah, I was not interested.
Now you are.
Now I am, but unfortunately, I do not have enough time
Okay, no,
to study history.
okay, don't talk about that part, just the first part. So, history was not your favorite subject at school, and you said because you were forced to memorize a lot of stuff, you didn't like the method.
Yes.
You didn't like the method. Okay, let me go ask
Yeah.
Shirin the same question, then I'll come back and ask you the second one. Thank you. Shirin, how about you? Was history one of your favorite subjects at school?
yes, it was my favorite subject, but when I want to take an exam, I don't like it. I wanted to take exam. I don't like it because I have to learn and had to memorize a lot of name and numbers and something like that. And when
No. Wait. Shirin, wait. Say things like that, not something like that. You mean another, not just one thing, things like that, yes. Things like that.
Like that. And some things that stopped my my willing to know about the history was the
my willing, my interest, you mean, not my willing. My interest.
Something that stopped my interest.
Okay, wait again, Shirin. Instead of that, you better use the word kill. Kill is better. Stop is correct. I can't say it's wrong, but it's more common to say kill. It killed your interest.
Something that killed my interest.
No, Shirin, not a kill. I just typed it. Kill. Kill like koshtan. Kill. I said it
killed.
killed your interest. That's what I said. Not a kill. Okay, killed my interest. Okay.
Something killed
that
my
killed my interest. Yes.
That something that killed my interest was the method of teaching history and exam.
Yes.
And another thing was the book, because I saw that they are written in the book. Iranian king just build, for example, train and some facilities for foreigners, not for Iranian, for example. Yes. And when I analyzed the history of Iran, I saw when we became some powerful, some group of enemies stopped these things and ruined all of our achievements. And yes, when I became older and I
no, not that part. Not that part. Just this question. So history was your favorite subject at school. You just didn't like the method they taught it, and you didn't like
yes,
taking exams.
The exam. Yes.
Okay. So let me go to Behzad and ask him this second part, and then I'll come back to you. Okay. Thank you very much. Behzad, do you think it's necessary to study the history of your country? If you think so, why? And if you don't think so, why not?
Yeah, I think it's crucial to know about your country and what your ancestors did in the past, and you can learn from their experience and their actions at that time. But the thing that the problem that I have with history is that I cannot trust in history, because the way that they present history in different times and in different different
you mean it's censored
governments,
yes. You could also use states.
Is totally different. And you are not, you as a reader cannot trust in it. And you when you want to read about your history, it's very important to choose the right source, because
can you give
even
me
at
an example? Behzad, can you give me an example of something that you read about our past history and later on you understood that it was wrong, or it was just half the truth, not the whole truth?
I remember during my school days, we had a lot of topics to read, but as I said, their interpretation of what our ancestors had done before is different in different times. And as Shirin said, for example, when someone built something like train and
roads, trains,
their interpretation is totally different from what other people or normal regular people think. And in this situation, you do not know who to turn and where to turn,
Who to
and
turn to?
who you can
Who to
trust,
turn to?
who to turn to.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, who to turn to, and you do not exactly who is right and who is wrong.
That's because of the politics that's dominant in our history, maybe.
Yes.
But Behzad, you said that you think it's
Yeah.
crucial to study your past history, the history of your country. But why? Why is it crucial to study history?
Because most of the problems and interactions that we have today, I know that our ancestors had before, and we can learn from their experience. And for example, if they had such an experience and they know the solution, we can read their books, and in this way we can improve our skills in interaction with others, or solving problems that they had before.
Do you think that this is something other people in other parts of the world do? You said reading the past history, what they did, and then learning lessons. Do you think this is something others do?
Yeah, I think the amount of time that other people, for example, in North America or Europeans spend for reading is
You said
Europeans, yeah.
Wait, because you said in North America is a what? You mean Canada and the US, okay? That's a country. And then you say and. After and, you have to use the same thing, the same technique. So you have to say Europe.
Or North Americans and
Yes,
Europeans.
Very good, exactly, yes. Okay, go on.
Yeah, the amount of time that they spend for reading is much more. On reading is much more than us. And
but how do you know, Behzad, that they read history? Maybe they read storybooks, novels, maybe.
I'm not sure, but I think when people of a country are aware of their history, they can build a better life, and they can reach to the point of
independence, maybe.
Maturity.
Yes, maturity. Yes.
Maturity. That they can handle their problems better.
Can you give me an example? Yeah, yeah. Full stop. You could say full stop. That's not it.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you give me an example of history, something that you read in history books or you have heard about our past history that could help us to, I don't know, run this country better? Can you give me an example? Just one example.
Not exactly, but I can say, or I can give an example about the history of our recent history in Mashrute, and other things that we had recently, and by
Hello?
reading better choices for our future.
Okay.
Because as you know, we have different parties in our society, and all of them are saying that their party is the best, and it's very difficult to choose which one is right and which one is wrong. But by studying more and more, and be aware of our recent history, being aware of our recent history, especially in politics, I think Iranian people can have a better choice in future.
Yes. And based on what you said, there's an expression in English about history. And when you don't study it, what happens? We have the same thing in Farsi too. As you said that in history, things happened before. Problems that we have now, I'm just saying that you said things like that, not exactly this. Problems we face now existed before for our kings and queens in the past. And if we studied history, we would know how to deal with the problems that we have now in a better way.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't, then we will keep having the same problems. There's an expression that means the same thing in English. What is it? Shirin, do you know that?
No.
It's a simple one. History repeats itself. History repeats itself.
Repeats itself. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear.
Repeats itself.
History repeats itself. Okay, Shirin, now to you, back to you. Do you think it's necessary to study the history of your country? If yes, why? And if not, why? Bezat said, yes, it's crucial, but you don't know who to turn to as a trustworthy source. And you have to be careful because some books are censored and stuff. What's your opinion?
I think it's necessary to know the real history and trustworthy history.
Trustworthy, dear. See?
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Like this. قابل اعتماد, yes.
Trustworthy. But I can see in this years and in the age of computer, they censored all the history, and I can't trust the history that they that belongs to, for example, 1,000 years ago, and because there wasn't things to record and documents them trustworthy, and
okay, wait, Shirin. Just hold that thought. Don't forget it. There's another expression because of what you said. You said that the contemporary history. Contemporary means what in Farsi? Contemporary? Muasir. Yes, very good.
Muasir.
Yes. The contemporary history has been censored in the age of computers and the internet. So how can we trust things that happened 1,000 years ago? There's another expression that we say in Farsi too. We say تاریخ رو فاتحان می نویسن. Right? How do you say that in English? How do you say it in English?
The winner. Okay. The winners wrote the history.
No.
Right.
First of all, it should be it should be simple present because it's a fact. It's a belief. When you're talking about your beliefs and facts, you have to use simple present. Winner, of course, is the first choice. But what other words in English do you know that mean winner?
Winner.
No. What other words do you know other than winner? I'm sure you know this. It's a very simple word. Everyone knows it. It starts with a V, not W, but V.
Victorious.
Very good. Victor. Victor. Victor means Fateh. برنده, winner. History is written by the victors. That's why you cannot trust it, maybe. By the victors. تاریخ رو فاتحان می نویسن. So go on, Shireen. Say what you wanted to say.
Yes, but for myself, I don't like spend my time with the past.
Go back. I don't like what?
I don't like spending my time with the past.
On the past, you mean?
And because I think it's not on the past, because I think it's not very useful for me, and it's just a lot. I just heard a lot of war and
a lot of wars,
a lot of battles.
Wars, you
wars,
mean? Yeah,
yes.
I see.
Wars. And the history was written by some different type of inception. And maybe when I was in the past, I have another inception. I had another
inception or perception? Do you mean perception? Yes, perception. Yes. Okay. You mean that what you want to say, Shireen, is whatever is written about history is biased, right? Biased.
Yes.
It's biased. Biased is when, for example, you want to do a research. Okay, you want to go ask people in the neighborhood, do you like pizza or not? Okay, if you're biased and you hate pizza, and you ask them, you don't ask them, okay, do you like pizza or قرمه سبزی, for example. You ask them, do you like this dirty, I don't know, fattening pizza that they serve in that restaurant, and you make it biased. You ask it in a way that people have to say, no, I don't like it. Okay, so history is biased. History is written in a biased method, in a biased way. What you read is biased. It's not impartial. An impartial person didn't write it. What's impartial in Farsi?
Nesbi?
No. That's relative. Impartial is bitaraf. When you're doing some research or stuff, like in scientific laboratories, for example, you have to be impartial. You cannot be biased if you want to do something scientific. But for history, as you said, you meant that it's not impartial. It's biased. You cannot be sure. Your perception of what happens is different. If you lived 100 years ago, you would think another way about the things that they wrote, and you read it now. Okay, can you give me an example? Is that your overall general view of history, or do you have an example in mind?
Because for example, when I am in a party and something was happened.
No, something happened.
There are different.
Something happened. By party, do you mean party when people celebrate, or political parties?
No. I want to say a simple example.
Okay, I want to give. Say is okay, Shireen, but usually you say give an example. Yes. Go on.
For example, there are different people in this little party, family party, and all of them have some perception from this event, and maybe of the event, and I know these things happens for history also, and I can't trust it, and I don't like to build my future based on these things, and I just like to know the history of successful people in this age, like Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, or for example, Trump, and some people that are alive, and you can see them, and they live in our in our time, and I can learn a lot of things from them, not from people they live in 1,000 years ago, and I can't make a connection with them because everything was changed a lot.
No, no. Go back, Shirin. Everything
has
very good. Has changed.
Everything has changed a lot, and it's not necessary to deal with the past and ancestors and
but
something
Shirin,
like that.
What about the fact that they say history repeats itself? Not just for politics, because history is not just for politics. I think, have you done an MA, Shirin? An MA or MS at university? فوق لیسانس دارید کارشناسی ارشد. کارشناسی ارشد.
Yes.
Okay. Have you, to do an MA? MA is for رشته‌های علوم انسانی. And MS is for...
I'm MS.
Okay. No, not I'm MS. I have done an MS. I have an MS degree. I have done an MS. Yes, you can say that. Okay. When you do that, you have to write an article, right? At the end, you have to write an article.
Yes.
Okay. And for the article, there's, if I'm right, there's an abstract at the beginning of the article.
Yes.
What do you do in the abstract?
Yes.
If I'm right, I'm not sure about that part. But there's one part that you have to go back and see what others wrote about the same subject. That's kind of like a history of the thing used. Is that abstract or some other part of the article? What is the name of that part?
No,
What is
it is بررسی متون.
No, in English.
In English, I don't know.
Okay, so it's not abstract, it's something else. Literature,
Abstract.
literature history, is it?
No, literature review.
Ah, very good, thank you. Literature review, exactly. In the literature review part, you have to do that study of the history. So, Shirin, history, the thing that you mentioned, you and Bezat, so far, was about history of politics, okay? The way people ruled the country and stuff. But history is not only that. History is even in your field of study. For example, you mentioned some days ago that you're a Pilates instructor. And, you know, Pilates is based on the history of sports and stuff. I'm not very much aware of the facts behind it. But how about that? Don't you think that is necessary if you wanna do anything? If we're not talking about politics, how about that? Can you trust sources?
Yes.
Of course, it is necessary.
Okay. Can you talk about that?
Yes, because for example, in the sport and science and biology, there is not any beneficial for some people.
No, sure, benefit.
And I can't trust them.
Benefit,
for example,
benefit, not beneficial.
Benefit.
Yes.
And I can't trust it because it's scientific, and there are very good resources, and they can find a lot of documents that help you. But I want to mention that I like the history of poetry.
Yes,
Poetry. Poets like Maulana, Hafiz, Sadi. I love it and I follow it. And when I I read this poem, and their perception was very nice, and they have a very good look in the world that make you peaceful, that make you peace and give you peace of mind.
Gives you peace of mind.
And
yes.
I like this type of history. Yeah.
Okay,
And
so in
I
your
like
field,
this type of
in your
history,
field
not
of study,
political.
Shirin, that's sports. I'm not sure about the title. Can you give me an example of something that if someone did without studying the past history of your field of study, that's sports and stuff, they would make a lot of mistakes? Can you give me an example that shows studying the history in that field is necessary and very important?
Yeah. It's very important because based on the sport, some doctors make two different different types of sport, like resistance sport, aerobic, anaerobic, and something like that. And we have to know about them. And when they follow their
things like that, say things like that. Say something like that. یه چیزی مثل اونه ولی شما دارید میخواید بگید چیزهایی مثل اون بگید things like that. Okay? Things like, yes. Okay, go on.
Things like that. We have to know about the people who invented them, and it's very necessary to know the way that changed them little by little, because they did a lot of tests, and they did a lot of efforts
made a lot of efforts. You make an effort. They made a lot of efforts.
They made a lot of efforts, and it helps us very much.
Yes, very good.
And every month or every year, these things are changed.
Yes, you could say are changing then. Are changing. Yes.
For example, we have some type of exercise. We call it HIT.
Okay, wait.
And after that,
go back, make the sentence correct again. We have a type of exercise, and then you said we call it HIT.
Called.
We have some exercise called
or which we call
HIT.
Okay, so you pronounce it HIT. You don't say hit.
No, it's HIT, but some people say HIT, but it's HIT, high intensive
training. Yes,
but training. But 1 or 2 years later, don't remember the name of the doctor, made some type of HIIT, high intensive interval training.
I see.
And then some doctors build some different types of exercise from HIIT, like Tabata.
You mean based
Dr.
on
Tabata?
it? Based on it, not from it.
Yes.
Based on it.
Yes. For example, Dr. Tabata in based this type of
not based in here. پایه‌گذاری کردن is found, and the past form is founded.
Tabata sport, Tabata exercise, and when you know the source of these types of
history, actually,
these types of
when you know the
history of it, you can invent some new method. For myself, I designed the different method, mixed of yes, fusion. I named it. I called it fusion Pilates.
And have you written an article on this?
I like work on it, but
I like to work on it.
Unfortunately, yes. I written some things about it, but it's not completed. But because my thesis was about Pilates and the effect of Pilates in different different age group and different points. For example, flexibility, strength, and different aspects of body. But Pilates cannot help to decrease the fat percentage of body. And after that, I mixed it with something like Tabata, and I give a very good.
No, I got very good results. You mean?
Yes, I got very good result. In
now, Shiri, wait. You said I got very good results. Okay, that's a simple sentence. Can you make it more beautiful instead of saying good results? What other adjective can you use instead of good to make it better?
Amazing.
Amazing, yes, very
fantastic.
Good. Amazing, yes, exactly. Fantastic. Not just good. I got amazing results. I got fantastic results. Yes, very good. Or you could say the results were tangible, right? For losing tangible means malmus بود. Okay, you could see it. Okay, for because you mentioned that with Pilates people couldn't lose fat, but with the mix that you designed, they could. So maybe you could say that it was tangible or more tangible compared to Pilates only. Okay, very good. That's very good. Thank you very much. Let me ask the same question from Behzad. Behzad, how about you? The history in your field of study, that's medicine. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, I think it's very important to know about the past and history of your major, because I think in every specific time doctors had done something to and they had different achievements in their time.
Yes.
And when you want to do something new, or when you want to add something to the previous achievements, you have to be aware of what they have done before. And specifically in the field of medicine, I think it's very important because we do not to reinvent the wheel.
Very good. Excellent.
We have to build on, and add something new to what we've already have.
Very good. Excellent. So that's one of the reasons why we study history of our fields like medicine, sports and stuff, because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Reinventing the wheel, that's one problem.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any examples of this? Someone who anywhere, not just the one, anywhere in the world, who has done something that was repetitious, has actually reinvented the wheel just because they didn't study the past history of your field?
it usually happens in countries that does not have good connections with other centers, does not have good connections with other.
Do not, because countries. You said it happens in countries that
countries,
do not.
yeah, yeah, that do not have good connections with other centers and other countries. And for example, I can say for critically ill patients, we use a lot of machines. One of them is, a ventilator.
Yes.
Ventilator has a very long history. Ventilators have a very long history, and fortunately, we are using the best ones in our ward. But recently, I have seen some other kinds of machine which is made in Iran or other countries that of this machine.
This machine, Is it a machine or a device?
Machine, yeah.
I don't know how big it is. It must be a machine. It must be a machine, right? Yes, it's a machine. I haven't seen one.
Yeah, it's a
So
machine.
I don't know. Okay, okay, go on.
Yeah. And when I compare, these new ones, I mean, which is made in Iran or other countries like China with, they with other with other machines which is top of the line,
Which were,
or for example from Germany or Finland, I think they are wasting their time because we already have this technology, and if you want to add something new, yes, I agree with that. But when you spend a lot of time and money and you are not aware that other people have invented these kind of technologies a lot some years ago, you actually are doing something that is useless, I think.
Yes, okay. So that is, there's a field, is it, I don't know, I just know the Farsi version. مهندسی پزشکی, is it? How do you say that in English?
Yes.
It's something that's done by them. How do you say it in
مهندسی
English?
پزشکی.
مهندسی پزشکی. You don't know that? Medical engineering, is it?
Medical engineering. Medical
So it's
engineering. Maybe yes.
Yeah, so it's something that medical engineers do. Let me look it up to make sure. The ventilator that you mentioned. Is it something that medical engineers make?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's medical engineering. So you mean that the ones who
Yes.
do it in Iran have not actually studied the history behind ventilators. They just want to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
And make a fool of themselves, I
Yeah.
think, by doing that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so the last question now. Thank you very much. The last question, should we be proud of our history? This part, because we talked about different kinds of history. History of politics, history of sports, history of medicine. And we have history of, I don't know, architecture, a lot of things. But this question is about politics, about the history that includes kings and queens and wars and victors and stuff. Should we be proud of our history? I mean, Iran? If yes, why? If no, why?
I like to be proud of my history and my country, and I try to be, optimistic in this way. But when you read the history and you find out, for example, that king had done or had a contraction with another country, for example, with Russia or other neighbors contract. Yeah. So I think sometimes it's very hard to be proud of our history.
How about the ancient one? What you're mentioning is recent history somehow. It's very contemporary. Not contemporary, but very recent. How about the ancient history of Iran?
Yeah, it's yeah, it is better, I think, for ancient history and about what our ancestors had done before. I think we can be proud of our history because, as you know, we had a very brilliant history. Iran is I can say, is an original country, and we were very powerful. And when a country is powerful, you can imagine that the rulers at that time were maybe good people, and they were aware of running the country, and their achievements.
You can say that they knew their job well. بلد بودن چیکار کنن. They knew their job well.
They knew their job well. And when you think about their achievement, you can be proud of yourself and your country and your ancient history.
Yes. Shirin, how about you? Do you think we should be proud of our history? Shirin?
For yes, for contemporary.
Yes, you could say that.
For contemporary history, it's obvious. It's not.
No, not it's not. I'm not.
Because
I'm not proud of it. I'm not. You should say I'm not.
I'm not proud. Because always we regret about the past, and we compare it with the 40 years ago. And I was born with Jamhuri Islami, and I unfortunately I have never thought something about ancient history, but they taught us about Islam history. I know it better than ancient history. And when I have traveled to Shiraz, and I saw...
No, not when I have traveled. When I traveled, Shirin, in the past, you when you say when, then it's somehow obvious that it was in the past. It's not very specific, but it is obvious. So no present perfect. When I traveled to Shiraz.
When I traveled to Shiraz and I saw Takht Jamshid, Persepolis, I didn't see some people introduce it for me, and they made this like a ruined place. They don't pay attention. They don't pay attention to this place.
I mean, they don't take
but
care
otherwise,
of it.
when
they don't take care of it.
Yes. But otherwise, when I traveled to Mashhad, I saw it there. On the other hand, when I traveled Mashhad, I saw it very well and very luxurious.
Glorious.
And I know it better.
It was glorious. What's
yes,
glorious in Farsi?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Exactly. Bashoku. Yes, yes. Go on.
And unfortunately, it doesn't make sense for me.
To me.
Ancient history to me, and some people like Ferdowsi. I travel last year. We traveled Mashhad.
Yes.
Traveled to Mashhad, and we went to Tus for
what did you say? Tomb.
مقبره
T-O-M-B. Tomb.
Tomb of Ferdowsi.
Yes.
It was like a very
like a wasteland. خرابه بود.
Ruined part.
Ah, okay.
Yes, yes.
I see. Okay.
But and I تأسف خوردن چی میشه؟
I felt sorry. You can say I felt sorry.
I felt sorry. And Qaza was confused about it.
Why?
Which one is because she asked me which was which one is more important for our country, Ferdowsi or
Mashhad.
another people.
Other people. Yes, you have to pluralize it. Yes. Or other people, exactly. Yes. But Shirin, another question. When we say that we're proud of our history, okay, just suppose that we agree on the fact that we're proud of our ancient history. When we say we're proud of it, what do you mean exactly? What do we mean exactly when we say we're proud of it? What does it mean? I've heard it a lot that people say, okay, I'm proud of my country, I'm proud of my history. But what does it mean when you say that you're proud of it?
I'm proud of I'm proud of something when I think about it. I have a good feeling about it. When I'm proud of our poems like Maulana, Hafiz.
Yes,
and,
I know, Shirin. I know. My question is something else. Okay, Hafiz was a good poet. Ferdowsi too. They're all, very important and outstanding poets of Iran. But why should we be proud of them? They lived in the past.
Because they changed. They lived in the past, but they have some perception that people in these days cannot get it. And they see the world in a very good way. And they have they were knowledgeable people. And I proud of them because
I'm proud of them. Proud is not a verb. I'm proud of them.
I'm proud of them because they find the God in a good way.
Okay,
and
wait. You said that you're proud of them because they found God in a good way and they had a good perception of the world and stuff. If that is your reason, then can you be proud of anyone from all around the world who've done something like that? For example, they say that about Gandhi. They say that about, I don't know, Buddha. That was very ancient. Or some European figures in history. Can you be proud of them too?
No, because there is no connection with there is no connection with me. And all poems, they made our culture. And I think I good relationship with them because our culture is formed by their perception,
based on
and maybe, yeah, and something that you cannot make a relationship with something. It depends on the culture and your past and your ancestors. And I know if I live in other country, another country, I have never had a same feeling that they had.
No, Shirin. No, Shirin. You're talking about the future, so you cannot use present perfect. If I live in another country, how do you complete that sentence? Bezot, don't help. If I live in another country,
I'm not.
Depends.
No.
You could say that. Just go on. Let me see how you complete that sentence.
It's a real fact, or
you have to use.
It's a real fact.
Conditional.
We have to use
conditional number one. Conditional.
Conditional.
Type 1, yes. If I live in another country, it's about the future. Okay, go on. If I live in another country.
I won't.
Would you please repeat? You're breaking up.
I won't.
Very good. I want what? Yes.
I won't have
very good.
The same feeling.
Very good. The same
that they have.
The same feeling about
they have
about their historical figures. You can say that I won't have the same feeling about their historical figures. Bezat, how about you? What do you think about this when you say that I'm proud of our ancient history? When anyone says that, what do they exactly mean? Do you agree with Shireen, or do you have another opinion?
Can you repeat the question,
Yes.
please?
When people say that I'm proud of, for example, Hafiz, I'm proud of Maulana, I'm proud of Cyrus the Great, that's Qureshi Kabir,
yes.
and stuff like that, what do you mean exactly? Because at first, Shireen said that I like Maulana and Ferdowsi and Hafiz and stuff, and poets like those, because of the perception of the world that they had, and they, I don't know, mentioned it in their poetry. And then I asked her whether that's the only reason, because there are honorable figures in Europe and North America, maybe. Would she be proud of them too? And she said no, because there's no connection. She was born in Iran, and because of what Hafiz and Ferdowsi and Maulana added to our culture, and because she's an Iranian, she feels this root and connection, and that's why she can say that she's proud of them. What's your idea?
I think the more we know about them, the better we can have a connection with them and be proud of them. And it usually happens for, people of the same country. For example, I know some other guys from other countries who have done incredible jobs in their lives, but I can admire them, and I can really appreciate the things that they have done, but I personally cannot be proud of them because maybe because of the roots and connections and the nationality. I don't know why, but when
you mean you
for
have
example,
to share something, like your nationality. If you don't share nationality, you cannot be proud.
Yeah, when an Iranian guy, for example, won a World Cup, and I know that he has born, for example, in the United States, and he was born in the United States, and he has never been in Iran, but his nationality is, Iranian.
Yes.
And
Wait,
when he
Behzad, I'm sorry.
does such a thing,
I'm sorry,
I
Behzad.
will
You have to say he's never been to Iran. He's never been to Iran.
Yeah, he's never been to Iran, but I know that his nationality is Iranian, and I would be proud of him.
Yeah, so you share the same idea.
Yes,
and you agree with
we
me.
have to. We need to have something in common,
Yes, very
or
good.
something that we can share.
Yes, like your nationality.
Yes. And I have a memory.
Yes,
I
yes,
have
please.
a memory
Yes.
from Louvre Museum.
Sure, and you're breaking up. Would you please speak up?
Paris. You can see a different part of country. Yes, okay. We travel Paris, and we went to Louvre Museum.
Yes.
And there was very different types of things from different history. But when I went to Iran park and I saw these things that related to our country, some feelings fools me, and I proud of my I
not fools me, feel me.
feel
You can
me.
say that
Yes,
some feelings came up or surfaced. You can say that. Some feelings surfaced.
And I find that there is a connection. There is always a connection with all of us, with our past, that we can't find it, but there is it's in ourselves and in our body.
You mean it's invisible?
I can see the better. Yes, it's invisible.
You can sense it.
You feel it.
Yeah, you sense it. You can sense it. You cannot feel it. You can sense it, because if you feel it, it's with your touch, with touching it, but you cannot touch it.
Yeah. Because we in this place we can see a lot of things, but some things that absorb you, you make a connection with absorb you and make a connection with you. It's very important. And when I saw these columns of Persepolis, I had different feelings that I can feelings. Yes. And it was very good memory for me, and I found that there is something like roots, but we can't explain it obvious.
No,
and
you can say I
cannot because
say it in words.
It's not obvious.
I cannot explain it in words. Not
obvious.
Yes, I cannot explain it in words. Yes, very good. That was a good example, a memory. Okay, good, very good. Okay, thank you very much, Shireen. Thank you, Behzad. And
thank you.
See you next week.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.